Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a tray. It's Halloween themed, but I'm going to make some inclusions to put in the tray. I found these really cute. They're small. I think they're like molds for like chocolates or fondant food, something food. Because they're just small and matte. I guess maybe to decorate cakes or something like that. But anyway, I decided to make a couple of these and stick it in a tray. Now, I couldn't fit most of these. They were a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be. Um, Bigger in the sense that they would have stuck out of the bottom of the tray. So I could only use a few of them. And the spider web. This was totally me. I made the spider web in the mold, but I kept making it black for some reason and realizing spider webs are white. So instead of making like the third one and waiting for it to cure, I just decided to use this I think it's advertised as like wrapping paper, but it's like a net. It's not paper, it's like a rope kind of texture. And I was like, I can just dye it. But of course, not thinking because my head is just not all there right now. I dyed it black. So we're gonna have a black spider web anyway. Probably should have just used the other one. But yeah, I wasn't going to do it again. So we're just going to go with the black spider web. Maybe it's just dark or shadow is casting over the web. I don't know. But yeah, I decided to go with it. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. So what I'm putting down here are just these like headstones, like graveyard headstones that I cut out of vinyl on my Cricut. And I do have one more thing I'm going to put down that I cut out just to kind of give a background for the bats, the ghosts, and the one spider that I was able to fit in there, and the black spider web. But yeah, it's really not like over the top. It's kind of a simple tray, but I really wasn't sure like what to add to it because I didn't want it to be too like busy, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't sure if I should put wording on it or like add more ghosts. I don't know. This is like my first attempt just to kind of see how everything would fit and what like everything would look like and kind of play around with like colors for the background. So yeah, this is going to take me a minute because I kept taking it off. Like I would put the one side down, the tape would catch the other headstone I put down and pull it up. So yeah, it took me a minute to figure that one out. Same with the other side, didn't learn my lesson. And yeah, sorry, this is going to take a second. And once I get that down, I have to weed this other thing that I printed out, not printed, cut out on my Cricut. And that took a minute too. I fast forwarded it, so hopefully it goes quickly. And I'm not sure if you want to see all that. Like, do you want to see me weeding this? I'm not really sure. I kept it in just in case you were interested. But yeah, this has like a lot of like little tiny windows and details. I didn't think when I cut it out, I wasn't thinking like I'm gonna have to weed all those little details out. But yeah, I mean it wasn't horrible. I got most of it. I might have missed a couple things, but I think I got most of it. So here comes the fun part. Trying to transfer this onto the silicone. I'm not really sure what type of vinyl I used here. I don't think I even know the name or the brand name of it. Probably something I got on Temu a while back. Not really sure, but it's not very sticky. So I had a really hard time getting this to stay on the silicone, which kind of concerned me because I'm really afraid that the resin is going to go like underneath and kind of lift it up. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. Usually that I guess it's better if you place it afterwards, but I just wanted to see if it would work like this. You know, in case like I don't want to top coat something like a tray and maybe just, leave it because it does take away some of the depth of the tray, which I mean, it's not a whole lot, but they're not that deep to begin with. So yeah, I just wanted to see if this way would work. And I used this tool and I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. Those like scraper things. I don't know what they're called, sorry. Uh but anyway, yeah, that didn't work. I rubbed it down with every tool I could find. The only thing that worked was peeling up a corner, holding the vinyl down with my finger, and then just slowly pulling it up. And then just basically holding it in place. So it wasn't really technically like stuck too much to the silicone as much as I laid it down on the silicone. So yeah, not sure how this is going to work out, but fingers crossed that it does not just come up and float in the resin. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe permanent vinyl would have worked better. I'm not really sure. Or if it's just the silicone, I'm not really sure. But yeah, it also took up the headstone again, so I had to put that back down. But yeah, this was a little fiddly. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult. I thought it'd be very simple, but yep, there was some problems, but it's okay. It worked out. And now I'm just going to lay down some of the inclusions that I made and the the black spider web, which is from like I said in the beginning, that like net, like they call it wrapping paper. I don't know why, but it's like a net. So I'm going to try to put that up in the corner. Hopefully that kind of looks like a spider web. I'm not really sure. I'm just convincing myself it looks like a spider web, and I'm going to put a spider on it. So maybe that will help sell it as a spider web. I don't know. And some bats and then a couple ghosts. Now, I wanted to kind of highlight the moon in the background here, which I mean, I don't know. I'm not very good at this. I've never tried it before, but I just try adding like some white and some gray or like a silver mica powder. And then I just rub that in, hoping that it would look somewhat like a full moon. Um, I was wondering if I should add like, I don't know, like a yellow or very light. I was trying to think of what a full moon looked like. No, I guess it's mainly white, no yellow. Um, but I don't know. I think I might have needed to add like a couple more colors. I tried rubbing some of it off and then adding like a darker silver, just to kind of give it like texture. That's the word I'm looking for. But we'll see how that worked out. I don't know. I haven't demolded it yet, but yeah, that's pretty much all I did for the moon. Here I'm just dabbing some of the mica out to try to add more dark. I felt like it was too light. So now I'm just going to add some yellow to like where the windows are in the house to try to make it look like maybe like lights are on in the house. And I thought about using like, it's a neon yellow and like a neon orange, but I thought maybe they would be too much. So I wanted to keep it a little more subtle. So I just went for like this like goldy yellow mica powder. And oh, I maybe should have tried chameleon powders. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I just added a little bit so it wasn't like every single piece of the house had yellow on it. It was just most of the little tiny windows and some of the windows in the front. And I left the rest just as it is to kind of pick up, I guess, the background color I'm going to put on. I do kind of wish I would have put a different color at the bottom, like where the stairs go up to the house, and then there's this like porch with a railing. I did leave that just with no color. I kind of wish I would have put something there, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I don't think it's going to be noticeable because I'm going to put something else like at the bottom. You'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. But next I'm just going to pour a clear layer of resin so I can put the inclusions down. And yeah, here's where I made a mistake, and I know better. I've done this before. I should know to do it a certain way. But again, I wasn't thinking. I was, I guess, excited and just kind of moving too fast. I wasn't thinking it through. But and some of you may know this, some of you may not, but anytime you put any kind of inclusion in resin, you should definitely wet it with resin first. And then I always spray with a little alcohol before I place it down, because otherwise you're going to get trapped bubbles underneath. It's really hard not to. Sometimes you get lucky and you're able to move it around and release those bubbles, but yeah, unfortunately it's a really good way to get bubbles. So I didn't do it. I just put them down dry without dipping them in resin first. And yeah, I'm really worried I'm going to get bubbles, but I don't know. Fingers crossed I don't. I don't know. But the net wasn't a problem. That's not solid. All the bubbles would, come up with that. I wasn't too worried. But the spider, the bats, the ghosts, yeah, those will definitely most likely trap bubbles underneath them. But we'll have to wait and see. And I didn't put too many in. I have a lot more made than I used. I think I put 3 bats and like 2 ghosts. I was trying to keep it kind of simple because I wanted you to see the background color, like the sky. And I may want to add something else when it's done. I'm not really sure yet. I have to see what it looks like. So yeah, I kept it pretty simple. Nothing fancy. There are a couple of things I kind of wish I would have added, but I don't know. I didn't want it to look too busy, if that makes sense. Like too much going on in one small space. But yeah, after this, I'm going to try to like put a layer of fog down at the bottom. So it looks like fog is coming up behind the house and the headstones. Now, this was difficult. I really wasn't sure how to do this. The only way I could think was kind of like how you make ocean waves, but try not to get cells in it because I didn't want it to look like an ocean wave. So I just mixed a little bit of white pigment, not mica, just the pigment liquid, and into the clear resin. And then I just use a dotting tool to just kind of lay like a line of white. And then I'm just going to try to spread it out with my heat gun without trying to get cells. So yeah, that was kind of hard. I swirled it a little and then I thought I probably shouldn't have done that because I'm not sure it's going to look right. It might look like a wave if I do that too much. I think what I was hoping for is that it would spread like a bloom spreads when you make a bloom and you add the white. That's what I was hoping for, but I don't know, I didn't have it at the temperature. You usually wait for resin to get warm to a certain temperature before you add, the white and I can't think of the word, alcohol inks when you do a bloom. And I think that might be the reason the white spreads the way it does. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert at blooms or anything, but yeah, because I didn't do that, I was really worried it wasn't going to look right. But I just gave it a shot and we'll see how it goes. I don't think it's going to work the way I'm imagining it, but I gave it a shot. So I'm just trying to move the white a little bit with the heat gun, not too much. Like I said, I don't want to create cells or anything like that. But just kind of encourage it to kind of spread upwards. Resin does what it wants, so this may not work. Not really sure. But yeah, I also just went over the rest of the tray to try to get all the bubbles out. And then I'm going to let this cure for about 24 hours. And I'm not going to put it on a heat mat because I want it to have time, at least the white, to kind of move. So I'm just going to let it cure the 12 to 24 hours. And then we will get on to the next step. Okay, so it's all cured now and the fog looks okay. Not exactly what I was going for. It's still translucent. You can see through it, which is good. I'm just hoping when I add the background color, it makes it pop out more and it looks like fog. Hopefully it doesn't take away from it. I'm not really sure because I didn't think it through again. Like, if it's translucent, you're going to see the background color behind it. So it might make it look different. Yeah, didn't think of that. I probably should have kept it clear at the bottom instead of adding a background color to it, but I don't know. We'll see how it works. So for the background colors, this was hard because I'm not really sure. I should have looked at pictures of what like a spooky like nighttime sky looks like, but I didn't. I just kind of picked some colors that I hoped to work together. And what I'm using here is from Dianca Pours, a navy blue. Then I mixed two colors. One is like Venom and one is white. Venom is like a green blue color. So when I mixed the white with it, it kind of turned into like a silvery blue. And let's see. Then I used fuchsia in like a, what do you call it? Translucent pigment paste. Not a pigment, I'm sorry. A translucent pigment dye, which wasn't a very good choice because mica will always take over like translucent colors, at least in my experience. Unless I add glue to it, it will most likely take over and I won't see the translucent color. So what I thought of it later. I added some of this. It's like a chameleon powder. It's from Mateo. It looks white, but it's actually like a blue purple shift. And it changes depending on the color that you add to it. It kind of reminds me of like an interference powder, but they call it a chameleon powder. So I added a little bit of that to the translucent in the hopes that that color would show up and not get taken over by all the mica I'm adding. A better choice would have been a pigment paste. Then I for sure would have saw the color because it's a lot heavier and more opaque. But I didn't, so we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to dirty pour this just on the very top. And then underneath that, I'm just going to pour a solid color of that blue silver. So I kind of wanted to blend in the middle a little, but not have like all the colors over the whole tray. I was hoping it would help it look like the sky and then like a dark background, like just nighttime. Am I making sense? I don't know, but it's in my head. I just can't verbalize what I wanted it to look like. But yeah, I just did a quick dirty pour, gave it a quick swirl, and then just poured on the very, very top. And yeah, you're not seeing a lot of the fuchsia, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to come through, but I definitely see a lot of the blues and some of the white, and then this blue silver color. I'm just going to pour that, like I said, just on the bottom. And the only other problem I had was the spider that I put down. If you see in the right hand side there, there's like a black circle. That's the back of a spider sticking up. Yeah, it was way too thick to put in. I put in as much resin as I could to kind of dome it, but it wouldn't cover it up. So I hope if this works out that I can maybe sand it down to kind of get it level. I got a lot of it covered, just not all of it. It does stick out a little bit. And I'm not sure if the tray is going to lay flat because of that, but we'll see. So next, I'm just going to kind of, I'm so sorry. My phone is dinging messages. I'm just using a heat gun to kind of move the mica around a little bit. I don't want to mix it too much. I want it to kind of naturally blend together, marble, whatever you want to call it. But that's pretty much it. And then I'm just going to let this cure. Right here, I'm just adding more of that blue silver to kind of fill up the tray a little bit more. And then after that, I will let it cure and I will show you the final result. Okay, so it's all cured now. and it didn't come out as bad as I thought. The fuchsia definitely did not come through. I was afraid of that. And the fog, you can't really see too much of it. I probably should have put some in front of the vinyl and behind the vinyl, and maybe not poured the background color behind it, because it definitely kind of camouflaged it. There are bubbles because I didn't put the inclusions in resin before placing them down. And the spider web, I wish that were white. Other than that, I think it's okay. There is some separation of the resin, like where the house is. So I will need to top coat it, which kind of defeats the purpose, but that's okay. I'm okay with it all in all. So yeah, I would do a few things differently, especially with the colors. I definitely want to see more than just the blue and the gray. But yeah, let me know what you think below in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for me, I'm always open to it. I love hearing everyone's ideas. You guys are very creative. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.